weekend of weather on tap, though it is going to be very warm, humid and windy both Saturday and Sunday. And really the warmth and humidity are here to stay for the next week. And it's no surprise the first day of May is on Wednesday already. That's what we have. It's getting towards middle, late spring. And we're kind of turning on the heat, and it's going to stay with us and probably, definitely only get worse in the coming weeks. And as we get into the middle of summer, we know how that goes. This weekend, so much happening. The Zurich Classic, Jazz Fest, other amazing festivals happening across the area this weekend. Fortunately, we should trend dry both days. There is a very small chance for a shower on Sunday, but our best chance for rain and storms moves in Monday and Tuesday, so the early part of the work week, we should get it out of the way. For your Saturday, temperatures will be getting into the middle 80s, so it will be hot, it will be humid, and it will be windy with southeasterly winds. Sustained winds make it around 15, 20, 25 miles per hour at times, which is good because it makes it feel less stagnant outside, but not great with all the tents and whatnot outdoors. So that's something to keep in mind for this weekend. We'll have clouds around today and tomorrow with times of sunshine, but even though there will be clouds, plenty of sun breaking through. So the UV index will be high. You need the sunscreen, the hat, sunglasses, and to hydrate this weekend. So to account for the windy weather, the National Weather Service has issued a wind advisory for today. It's in effect until 9 o'clock tonight, with the winds coming in again 15 to 25 miles per hour sustained, gusting at or maybe even above 30 miles per hour. And that's for our entire area today. Probably we'll see another one issued for tomorrow. We'll see, because really today and tomorrow are going to be two pair of the same deal. Southeasterly winds gusting at or above 30 miles per hour at times, not all the time in the afternoon. A little less windy overnight, but kind of breezy in the evening still. And then here's tomorrow afternoon, same thing. Southeasterly winds, 30 mile per hour gusts, maybe up to 35 miles per hour tomorrow. And we'll stay a little breezy into early this week on Monday. And really southeasterly winds are with us for the next 7 days. And with the sustained southeast wind this weekend, it's very persistent. That's onshore flow. Coastal flood advisory also in effect for this entire weekend. So during the high tide cycles for today and tomorrow, we can see some minor coastal flooding. Not a huge deal, something that we deal with the persistent onshore wind. So for South Mississippi and southeastern Louisiana, highlighted in green, is where we could see some minor coastal flooding. So eastward, southward facing shorelines along the coastline, also for Lake Bourne, Lake Pontchartrain, and Lake Maurepas, also all included in that. So something to kind of keep in mind for this weekend. Nothing to stress too hard about though. And also a good thing for us is all the severe weather that we've been hearing about across the plains that happened yesterday and is expected to happen again today and tomorrow. All of that stays way away from us. And the reason being is because this trough and this upper low is going to stay well to our north. So we had the first one come through yesterday. That's kind of like devolving and moving into Canada, moving into the Great Lakes and even northward into Canada today. And then the second one is taking shape east of the Rockies. This is in the upper levels of the atmosphere. That continues to push to the northeast towards the Great Lakes tomorrow. As it continues to push northeastward, again, there's that severe threat across the plains today, southern and central plains today, and then again tomorrow, unbelievably so. So 3 days of very bad active severe weather for many states across the country. But the fortunate news for us and the good news for us, as the trough continues to push eastward, it kind of opens up and becomes weaker. All the really robust support for any active weather stays way to our north, but still, even so, we've got a lot of moisture around, it's heating up, and we have this forcing here. This trough in the upper levels gets closer to us in the lower Mississippi Valley early in the week, and that's our rain chance for Monday and Tuesday. So that's our best bet to see some soaking rain. It's not going to be a complete washout all day, big deal thing, but something to watch. We haven't seen some rain in quite a few days. And that's what we have for Monday. And even Tuesday, I think we'll see another round of showers and storms because that system doesn't really get a push out of here. It kind of like it's stationary and doesn't really move and stays with us during the midweek time frame and starts to kind of get a nudge out of here later in the week. But I think every day next week, even the second half of the week, Wednesday through Friday, there is a low chance for daily stray showers and rumbles of thunder. But Monday and Tuesday look like our wettest days coming our way. As for Saturday, partly cloudy skies, great weather. Don't forget the sunscreen when you're heading outdoors. Trending dry today, just windy, warm, and humid. windy, warm, and humid again tomorrow with a blend of sun and clouds. So Saturday, Sunday, basically 2 of the same days. Not bad, can't complain, but there could be a stray shower on Sunday afternoon. Very hit or miss. I think most of us see nothing tomorrow. It's not until Monday, probably late morning, maybe early afternoon, we'll start to see that batch of weakening showers and storms. So it's not going to be as potent as our neighbors well to our north and west are having to deal with, but we'll have some soaking rain around at times Monday, especially in the afternoon. 1 or 2 stronger storms are possible, but not really anticipating anything big and worrisome so far as it looks now for Monday, but some steady and soaking rain certainly possible scattered across the area Monday into the afternoon, into the early evening. Don't forget the rain gear before you head out the door on Monday, because you'll probably need it if you'll be heading out for lunch or coming home from work, school, whatnot. Monday is going to be our wet start to the work week, of course. Perfect way to kick off a work week. And as we head into Tuesday, early in the day, we'll probably see a dry stretch Monday night into early Tuesday, but I think again by Tuesday afternoon, we'll see a few scattered showers and storms develop over the area once more. So Monday, Tuesday, that's what we're looking forward to. As far as our rain totals, they kind of keep changing up a bit. Right now, expecting maybe up to a ½ an inch, maybe an inch of rain on the North Shore. Really just depends on how these storms go on Monday. But any steady and soaking downpours that we see could lead to, of course, some ponding on some of our roadways, maybe some isolated street flooding. But so far, it looks like the worst of the rain is going to be off to our north and west. But we'll watch it closely for Monday. We are highlighted just for a marginal risk or marginal chance on Monday for isolated street flooding. So not a guarantee, something to just certainly kind of pay attention to during the day Monday. And of course, always avoid those big puddles and ponds. You don't know what is under you at all. So definitely avoid those flooded roadways, something we always say when we get those heavier rains coming in. But it doesn't look like to be a huge concern for us. The heavier stuff looks to be back west towards Alexandria, maybe even towards Macomb could see some heavier rain. This will probably change up a bit as the details become clearer getting into the next couple of days. But we were talking about that severe risk that we had yesterday. That was, of course, realized. Massive tornadoes across the plains yesterday. Today, here is a severe risk still associated with that upper low, that very robust system moving across the country. Here is today's severe weather risk, the worst expected in Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, parts of Texas, even parts of Missouri included in that. And that's where that red is highlighted, the moderate risk. That is for today. That's the worst of it today. And then tomorrow, there is still a risk, not quite as bad, not as high, but still looks like central, southern plains, parts of the Midwest, really west of the Mississippi River tomorrow, having to deal with some more active, strong storms. And then as that system continues to push east, like we had mentioned, it's going to be weakening. So as it moves eastward, it will be weakening, but there is still actually a low marginal risk, level 1 out of 5, for severe weather for parts of the Gulf Coast on Monday. And we actually are included in that in our area. Not a huge concern. But as we get into Monday, as those storms push through, we'll be watching for some heavier downpours. Maybe an isolated storm can give us a quick, strong wind gust, maybe some small hail. So we'll keep you updated on any changes with that. But so far, really all the strong support with that system goes way to our north. But since it's going to be so moist and we've got the warmth, we've got some instability coming in, we got this upper level trough swinging into our area, 1 or 2 strong storms can't be ruled out, which is something we see from time to time, of course, living along the Gulf Coast. No surprise there. Here's your 7-day forecast. Everyday temperatures will be in the middle 80s. It is hot. There is no sign of a cool down, no cold fronts this week. I am personally sad about this, but it's okay. Temperatures mid-80s, yeah, maybe even upper 80s later next week. Mostly dry this weekend, just windy. Make sure you kind of keep that in mind for any party going outside. Costumes, don't want them to blow away. And then Monday and Tuesday, scattered rain and storms across the area. Some heavier downpours possible Monday. Temperatures will be warm and muggy in the morning hours. And then the second half of the week, not as bad. We'll probably see a little bit more sunshine and a lower chance for maybe a stray shower or rumble of thunder Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're getting into that season where we start to see those pop-up showers and storms. So thank you for tuning in for the WWL Louisiana digital stream. We'll be back for the WWL Louisiana news this evening.